up to another good morning. Time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all looking.
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live.
Podcast. Ooh, I feel like you just did sing-songy right there.
Did I?
The 3x5 Live.
I hope not, because then it did not sound good. On this podcast, we talk about mindset, wellness, productivity. Last week, we spoke about...
Focus and attention.
I was not paying attention to what we talked about.
Nope, we were talking about focus and attention and how it gets hijacked.
Yes. And April marks the 1-year anniversary of the 3x5 Life podcast.
Woohoo!
We celebrated by coming to Florida.
Yes, that is exactly why we're here, to celebrate this podcast. We're in the Tiki Hut, our favorite podcast studio of them all. Better than our bathroom.
Yes, better
than our bathroom.
But in all seriousness, it's been a year since we launched this thing. We did not know the direction. We have to give kudos for kind of our marketing consultant guru guy, Rob Jacobman, who kind of forced our hand into putting this thing together. And it's been a fun journey.
It has been super fun.
So my main question to you is, who is the favorite person that you've interviewed?
You're such a nerd.
I would say it was me. Because we haven't interviewed nobody.
We have not had any guests, but that is something that we're actually been talking about.
A lot of people have asked us to actually interview them.
Yes, they have, which I would love to if we could figure it out and get it together.
Yeah, it's a lot of scheduling. Lots of scheduling.
For a 10-minute combo, but we'll try to make it work.
But I mean, I think we kind of want to maybe reflect on the last year. Mention a few of our favorite podcasts that we talked about. Kind of some lessons learned from this experience. What we kind of got out of it. And for me, like, I just love sitting down and talking to you. It carves out a few minutes for us to engage.
Oh, that was really cute.
Thanks.
No, I agree. I sometimes literally, this is the first time each week that we like actually have a full-blown conversation where we can sit in peace and quiet and, you know, riff about whatever we want to riff about. And it feels really good. So I agree. This has been a special little gift.
Well, I think we're both really into this content and these subjects. And we used to have a ton of time to be like, I listened to this podcast. I read this book. And we still do that a ton. But this gives us the time and attention to actually unpack those, I don't know, those thought ideas and really kind of engage in conversation in a more comprehensive way together about it.
Because we don't have people interrupting us every 14 seconds too.
Yes, that does happen on this podcast every once in a while. And
also, like you were talking about, I think that this has been a super accountability piece for us too. It's interesting when you talk, they say you learn best by teaching, right? So not that we're teaching.
It's a circle of learning, right?
Yeah. And when we talk about it that week, I feel like whatever we have talked about the week before, it's always in focus for me. Last week was focus and attention. So I feel like that is just, it's if we're saying it out loud and we're using our words, we know that words are important. And so it gives us that like follow through that we want to follow through and be better. So it's been helpful for us in our own journey too. And I feel very grateful for that.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I want to be is a false prophet, as the term is called, where I say to do all these things and, you know, make sure that you're creating these habits and I don't do them to myself. And I don't think I'm wired to not do them, but this just gives that, like you said, extra accountability piece. But I'll say one thing on this podcast. I did say that I was going to do another 5-day fast and I haven't done it. And I've been feeling guilty about that since the fall.
I didn't even remember you saying that. So that just goes to show.
So I need to get that done.
Okay. I think this week is the perfect week to do it while we're on vacation.
We're on vacation in Florida. My family would love me. So why don't we break down a few of our favorite episodes?
Okay.
How about you start? You want to ham and egg it? We go back and forth?
Yeah. So, I mean, should we start like earlier rather than later? Like one of our...
think it matters.
Oh, okay. Well, I really loved the conversation that we had with Everything is Figuroutable. It was episode 46. That is a book I had read, Marie Forleo. And after doing that podcast, it was interesting how many people circled back to me about that concept, asked for the book, has been reading the book, and just that whole mindset shift of, you know, it goes along with the idea of it's a problem solving technique, right? But it's that I guess, confidence in yourself that you can figure things out and that you're not the first person most likely that this experience has happened to. And so using resources, working smarter, not harder to really just I don't know, give yourself that like pat on the back to be like, I got this, I can do this. And so I love that episode. That was a fun one.
And I think that is your strength. I mean, that is, if there's one thing about Jessie, I mean, that is her mantra before she even read that book. I don't think you could articulate it as everything's figureoutable, but I think that really was your mantra.
Well, I told them my nickname was Jugal, Jessie and Google, because I am.
That is true.
You would be like, Jessie.
I forgot about that.
You'd be like, Jugal, figure that out. And I'd be like, okay. And like, I actually get joy from trying to problem solve and figure things out. So yeah, that's been a fun one.
Yeah. One of mine was episode 24, building legacy habits. I would like to say that I coined that term.
I feel like you may have. I don't know.
You know, I've always been really driven by habits, but then talking about combining the word legacy and habits really was this aha moment for me, that your habits, the things that you do every day, are creating your future legacy of how people view you, how you view yourself, the mark you leave on this world. So unpacking that in an episode was pretty fun because I feel like I coined the term. Maybe I didn't.
I don't know, but look at you.
I know. So that was one of my faves.
That was a lot quicker. I'll speed mine up.
Extend them.
I liked the one that was episode 45. So it was the one before that was, will this make the boat go faster?
I like that one too.
But that was a quote that Bri had brought to me because he had just listened to that TED Talk or whatever it was that you had listened to. And that one gave me a lot of food for thought. I definitely chewed on that after that episode. And thinking about all the things that come into, my existence or my orbit, right? And being very mindful of is this activity that I'm about to participate in, is this ultimately in alignment to my overall goals and what I want to achieve for that month, that week, whatever it is, whether it be dietary or I'm going to eat this and is this going to make me feel good, or, nourishing my body, or whether I'm going to move my body, or even saying yes to an engagement that maybe I don't want to do. So that idea of will this make the boat go faster? I play that over in my head quite a bit, and I'm using that as a filtration system for me. And so I like that topic. Yeah.
And then one of those, especially if you have a quarterly goal or even a month-long goal or something like that, making that your month-long mantra for your goal, I think really keeps you focused on what you're trying to achieve. And
maybe it's the visualization piece, right? I feel like for me, I love to visualize things, and I literally picture myself in a rowboat. Is this going to make me go faster to get to that goal, or am I going to hit that heavy murky water and it be kind of stagnant and slow? I don't know. Are you laughing because that's not maybe how you row a boat?
I'm just laughing.
I like to do charades when I talk.
Another one of my favorites was episode 18, Words Matter. I'm really bullish on the power of self-talk, good and bad, and that the words we tell ourselves, the mantras we use in our life really drive the good and bad that we're experiencing, and being aware of, these words that we say to ourselves. And I think we call each other out too, which I think is really helpful if one of us is kind of in a slump and might not use an affirming word to describe ourselves or something we're trying to achieve. You do a good job of kind of calling each other out on that. And
trying to reframe it.
Yeah, trying to reframe it. And I think that's important.
Yeah. And making sure that we do that for our kids as well. That's something that when they're little and they're, faced with the problem, there's a lot of stuff and verbiage that comes out.
Yeah, McFarlane's do hard things.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
My last one that I want to talk about was episode 14. This one was the scheduled play one.
Yes.
So we talked about on that podcast a lot of how Bryan and I have kind of redefined what a date would look like, or doing date days with our kids. But I've been doing a lot of sessions and work. I specifically did one last week where I'm having adults kind of play. And so we played a little game, or it's a puzzle activity, or this one was called it's called Quick Cups, which is really fun. And, they're competitive and they're seeing each other laughing, and it's just lighthearted, and it just feels really good. We're talking about some heavy topics, and then afterwards we look at what play personality you actually fall into. And that's Stuart Brown wrote the book Play, and in there he identified a series of play personalities that all of us kind of fall into, whether it be when we were children or when we're adults. And so the dialogue that I've had with adults about play, and maybe the lack of play or the forgotten love of play, has been really interesting. And I just think at our core and at our heart, if we can get back to that playful side of ourselves, it brings levity and joy and just makes any situation feel a little bit more positive and less heavy.
Yeah.
And so that's how I'm just grateful for that episode and that concept in general.
Yeah. It's a great way to reframe things, because I think adults, we take ourselves way too seriously.
100%.
I think we don't fall into that category.
No.
Sometimes we do.
But not often.
Yes. So 1 year in the books. It's been fun.
It's been so fun.
We've had I don't know, a month or two ago, we hit the 10,000 download episode milestone, which is fantastic. And thank you for tuning in, and the feedback that you guys and the support over the last year. I mean, if it wasn't for listeners engaging and leaving reviews and reaching out to us saying, hey, this episode impacted us, we take that lights our fire up. Like, if you send us an email and say, hey, last episode was awesome, like I talked to my son, like that keeps us going. And for all those people out there that have done that, thank you. Into another year.
Yeah. Cheers.
All
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Have a great week.
Have a great week.